Sun Tzu once said, "Know your enemy, understand yourself, and you will never be defeated." Or I think he said something like that. But the point is, I think it's a fantastic tactic to deploy in our fight against diabetes. With more knowledge about the disease and our own bodies, can we potentially keep diabetes at bay?
And breathe out. Put your legs apart. Better balance.
And what role does exercise play in the prevention and management of diabetes? Can we learn a thing or two from other countries about how they're dealing with the diabetes crisis? Today, we are going to find out, how do we fight back and show diabetes who's boss?
We're in the final lap of our 1,500-meter race. The United States, no surprise, they're taking the lead, so close to securing that gold medal. Singapore slowly pulling away from the pack. Can the US of A do it? Yes, they can! America takes the gold medal. Singapore and Malta round up the top three. I'm going to check in with our silver medalist, Singapore, for a comment. So Singapore, what a tremendous effort. But walk me through that race and what you're feeling right now.
I'm not happy with my performance, obviously. But during the last lap, this adrenaline kicked in. But I came in second.
It's okay. I'm here for you. Yep, in this diabetes race, you really don't want the top spot. According to statistics, Singapore has one of the highest proportions of people living with diabetes among developed nations. Singapore ranks second just after America over here. No wonder he's not celebrating. When it comes to diabetes, it's the losers we want to learn from. In Singapore, about 10.5% of the population is living with diabetes. So how about other countries with similar lifestyles and population as Singapore? Let's see, we have Japan over here, 5.7%, Hong Kong with 8%. How do they do it?
The reasons why some countries like Japan or Hong Kong have a lower prevalence of diabetes, one obviously is genetics. The other reason is in terms of diet and physical activity. But Japan is a very homogeneous society. We are a very diverse population. To say that is due to just a single factor may be a bit too simplistic. We really have to look at all the known risk factors causing diabetes and then to do a comparison and to see what the differences are.
There may be many factors, but one thing is sure. It's a global crisis, and many countries are coming up with studies and policies towards preventing diabetes. At the forefront are countries such as Finland and France.
Some researchers in Finland wanted to find out if they can prevent the development of type 2 diabetes by making modifications to your lifestyle. So that means exercise and diet. They had two groups of people. The first group they called the intervention group, and they were given a curated exercise and diet program. The second group was given nothing. In just 3 years, the risk of developing type 2 diabetes within the intervention group was reduced by 58%. 58%.
The Finnish Diabetes Prevention Study, published in the British Journal of Nutrition in 2000, highlights the importance of diet and physical activity in diabetes prevention and management. And countries like France are putting that knowledge into practice.
In France, in order to lower the risk of obesity rates in the country, they have banned the refills of all the sugary drinks. This follows the success of imposing a sugar tax on all sugary drinks in 2012. How do you think the French stay so effortlessly slim and chic?
Whatever the measures that are in place, the point is small lifestyle changes, those little gear shifts can go a really long way in preventing diabetes. And if you have pre-diabetes, you can even reverse those symptoms. Oh wait, what exactly is pre-diabetes?
So if you think of, let's say, a scale, we have normal on one hand and we have diabetes on the other hand, and in between we have this condition called pre-diabetes. Basically, it means that this person, if he or she is not careful, the risk of getting type 2 diabetes is about 35% over the next 8 years.
Well, that makes sense. Pre-diabetes isn't exactly a type of diabetes. But if you do have pre-diabetes and you don't make active lifestyle changes, you will eventually get type 2 diabetes. Now, the trickiest thing about being pre-diabetic is that we show no obvious physical symptoms. So many of us could be walking around today completely oblivious to the fact that we have pre-diabetes.
Certainly, if they are at risk, if they are, let's say, obese, if they have a positive family history of diabetes, then a blood test should be done to check whether or not they indeed have diabetes.
One of the ways that you can test for prediabetes is to take an oral glucose tolerance test, or OGTT for short. Now, I'm not in the high-risk group, but I am curious to see where I am, so I will take the OGTT, and I'll tell you what it's like.
Okay, Nikki. So I want to introduce you to Dr. Melvin Liao.
Okay, doctor, what are we doing today?
Today, I'm going to do an oral glucose tolerance test. And from the values, we can tell whether you are normal, impaired glucose tolerant, or whether you are frankly diabetic.
Before taking the test, you have to fast for at least 8 hours. Then a blood sample is first taken. This is known as the fasting blood glucose value, which acts as a baseline for comparison.
If I pass out, please don't be offended. I'm not ignoring you.
Okay, I think we got enough.
All right, so I'm gonna try this out.
Next, you'll be treated to a very sweet drink.
Very sweet.
I do like it.
Do I need to drink the whole thing?
Yeah.
After that, you'll have to wait for 2 hours for your body to process the sugar.
Starting to draw the blood now.
2 hours later, a second blood sample is taken. And finally, what's left to do is to compare both blood samples to get the test results.
Very good news.
Really?
After 2 hours, your blood glucose is 6.2, which is very, very good. And actually, you have no suggestion of prediabetes or diabetes.
So what are these numbers? What is a healthy range, and what do they actually mean at the end of the day?
Basically, we do this test to determine how quickly your body is able to clear the glucose.
Aha.
If after 2 hours, your blood glucose is between 7.8 to 11.1, then you are in the stage of having prediabetes.
Okay.
So this is quite an important acid test to be able to ascertain whether you are a diabetic or not.
Thank you so much.
Not at all. Pleasure, pleasure.
Coming up, what role does exercise play in managing diabetes? And a personal training session to show you the roadmap to better health.
And we got perfect. Love it.
Earlier on, we looked at the research and steps taken by some countries in the fight against diabetes. And I took the oral glucose tolerance test to find out if I'm at risk of getting diabetes.
Your blood glucose is between 7.8 to 11.1, then you are in the stage of having prediabetes.
It's easy to see how the food that we eat has a direct impact on our blood sugar levels. But what on earth does physical activity have anything to do with our blood sugar?
What exercise does is it actually brings up a certain molecule that we call the GLUT4. This molecule is positioned in the muscles in such a way that it can actually help clear the bloodstream of the glucose and sugar that's circulating around. And this is just one of the many advantages or benefits of exercise in a person with type 2 diabetes.
So if you're living with diabetes, there are a few things you need to look out for before you lace up those shoes. Number one, hyperglycemia or high blood sugar.
People with hyperglycemia, whether or not they can exercise depends on, number one, what the hyperglycemia is due to, and number two, how bad is the level of hyperglycemia. For example, if the person is diabetic, if just 1 or 2 or 3 millimoles above the normal, then they can go and exercise, provided they're not type 1. But if, let's say, it's at a critical level, then common sense should prevail and they should wait until it comes down, or they should seek treatment for it to come down to a safer level before they embark on any exercise.
It's also important to be wary of the opposite of hyperglycemia, hypoglycemia, or low blood sugar.
People with diabetes need to take care to avoid hypoglycemia by following a few simple rules. They should not exercise just after taking their medication without a proper meal. They should also do a sugar check before the exercise. If the sugar is too low, they can either delay the exercise or take something, ingest something to bring up the sugar to a safer level before they start exercising.
The third thing to look out for is foot health.
People with diabetes should pay attention to their feet because that is one of the common complications that can occur, especially when the diabetes is not well controlled. They should have a habit of checking their own feet on a daily basis. If they don't check, they won't know that there's an injury there, and that may fester and it may worsen to a very bad stage. They should wear proper footwear. When they are, let's say, outside, they should wear something that is not open-ended. So that will actually decrease the risk of injury as well.
When you have diabetes, the amount of things to think about before you do any physical activity can seem like a workout in itself. Yes, it can get overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be complicated, especially when we have a personal trainer in the house.
So I hear you're the man to talk to because I'm looking for exercises that are suitable for people living with diabetes.
For those who have diabetes, right, a simple exercise can be like a stroll or something not too heavy on them. Doing strength training actually helps a little bit because when they do that, they need to use a lot of glucose right in the body. So this will help to lower down their blood sugar a little bit lower, and the insulin level will be much more sensitive.
Rudy, can you show me some of these exercises that you would recommend to people living with diabetes?
Sure, why not? Follow me then.
Okay, very good.
The first exercise is called the squats, okay? So basically what you do, put your hands in front, push your butt out and try to sit down. First exercise, simple, right? Move up again. So after you do a few times, once you get warmed up, when you get used to it, maybe this time you will not sit down, maybe just touch a little bit, okay? Just touch, okay. Breathe in first, breathe out, okay. Okay, let's try the first one. Just touch first, yes, correct.
I don't think I can go lower than that.
You can give it a try. That's it.
This might look simple, but trust me, I can definitely feel the burn.
You want people to do 20 of these?
Try not to go more than 20.
Yeah.
If you're having diabetes, have a bit of snacks in your pocket, just in case you overwork yourself a bit too much. Get it in. Knees bend, butt out, look up, breathe in. Just squeeze the back. Open up the shoulders. Open up the shoulders. Keep it tight. Good. Nice one. Breathe in first and breathe out. Perfect. Love it.
So these are resistance bands, basically.
Basically, yeah, you can get it in any sports store. Yeah, you have level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. It depends on your intensity. But whatever scenario is, you can actually hook up to any pillar.
Yeah,
just
at
use it to
home you could do
stretch.
this, or in the
Yep.
park you could bring it with you, find a space to attach it to.
Anywhere, sweetie, anywhere.
Good.
So hands together, legs wide apart. Breathe in first and breathe out.
Exercise doesn't have to be complicated at all. Even a classic workout move like the push-up works important upper body muscles.
I have terrible upper body strength, but this is wonderful because now I know, and I'm gonna get better. And you're gonna join me on this journey. Now, for someone else who's coming to you for the first time, maybe with diabetes, how important is the element of fun in an active, sustainable lifestyle in order to keep motivated?
It's very important for someone to stay in the gym. So it's very essential for a person with diabetes to have friends around them, to be together and to do classes together. It's just a bit of fun, just to leverage on the insulin level that you have in your body.
Tell me about those little gear shifts that can actually make a big difference at the end of the day.
You know that you have to do 30 minutes workout a day. Leverage on that, small things. So maybe climb up the staircase might be a first start, or to walk from your bus up to your house might be a first start. To go swimming might be a first start. So it's very important for them to know that these small things, if they add up throughout the weeks, they will be just fine.
Coming up, we have our home cook and nutritionist extraordinaire, Charlotte May, with us again.
Ice cream scoop gives you that OCD-ness. So.
She's going to teach us how to prepare diabetes-friendly snacks to fuel your workouts.
They're no bake. You can eat them raw like this.
Earlier on, we found out that regular physical activity is a non-negotiable in a good diabetes management plan.
A simple exercise can be like a stroll or something not too heavy on them.
But there are also conditions like hyperglycemia and hypoglycemia to look out for.
Dear Charlotte, I have been on the hunt for pre-workout snacks, but everything I found is loaded with sugar. Do you have any recipes for healthy pre-workout snacks that are suitable even for diabetics? Many thanks. Hope to hear from you soon. Take care. All the best. Cheers. Please reply. Nikki sent. That was fast. Dear Nikki, great question. Thank you. Join me at my kitchen and I'll share some recipes with you. But first, there are a few ingredients you'll need to buy. Can you make a trip to the supermarket and get ingredients with low glycemic index, please? Thank you, Charlotte. What's glycemic index?
So glycemic index is a way in which we classify foods that we eat which are predominantly carbohydrate. Foods that are high GI means that your blood glucose rises rapidly, and foods that have a modest increase in glucose are called a low GI food.
Okay, let's try this out. Shouldn't be too hard. Pizza. GI glycemic index. Nope. It's not stated anywhere on the packaging. Noodles. Why doesn't anything have the GI on it? Nothing, no glycemic index.
So GI labeling has not been extensively rolled out in many parts of Asia, but it's a work in progress. So soon we will have a much larger tapestry of food that we have tested to have the GI labeling.
So these are the fruits I've been told that are low in GI. Nice hard Fuji apple, some oranges, tomatoes, lycopene. I think they're low in GI. It's not written anywhere. So many greens, they all look the same, but apparently they taste different. Sharp spinach, round spinach. Maybe that will work. Ah! Finally! Low GI rice, we found something! Awesome, awesome.
In general, most highly refined white rice, potato, white bread are all high GI, and wholemeal bread, red rice are low GI. But in general, even if you eat a high GI food, if you combine it with protein, with some vegetables, with some fiber, you can lower the glycemia.
After shopping around this entire supermarket, I only managed to find one food item that clearly states it's low in GI. Everything else is a little bit of a guessing game, but hopefully it's good enough for Charlotte. Hey, Charlotte.
Hey, Nikki, nice to see you again.
Good to see you again. Listen, I went to the supermarket and I looked for items with low GI, but there's not much on the labels, okay? So I guessed a lot. What do you think?
So you got almond flour, that's
that good?
nuts, yeah. Desiccated coconut, oats, very good. You've been listening. Nut butter, dates. I won't say dates are low in GI, actually.
Okay.
But they're very high in fiber.
What are we making?
Okay, so with all of this, we're gonna make some fun and healthy energy balls, which you can have before your workout or even as a healthy snack throughout the
I
day.
love that idea. Okay, I'll be your minion. What should I do?
Very simple.
Yes?
It all goes in here.
Ah, the processor, okay.
Yeah. Got the almond flour. So this is actually just almonds.
Oats.
Oats. So we wanna go for rolled oats, not instant oats.
Then we have the nut.
butter.
So
spread this on bread.
It's a bit like peanut butter,
Yeah,
but just a
absolutely.
different nut.
Okay, so that's just for flavor.
Wonderful.
Now for you.
Okay.
Okay, so it looks like it's done. Now we want sort of like a paste consistency that is sticky, but not too sticky. So if you just press it against the wall of the processor, it should kind of like squish down. So if it's too dry, you can add some water, but this is perfect. So now you can just use your hands to roll this up into a ball, but the ice cream scoop gives you that OCD-ness, so it's perfect.
You can't use the big one, right? It's too much.
Too much. So you can just use a teaspoon. So for this, they're no bake. You can eat them raw like this, and it's super quick. You can get your kids involved, get the family involved, get your girlfriends involved.
Yeah.
And you could pop them in the freezer as well. That keeps them for longer. So you can have them as it is, or we can roll it around, have some variations. So I've got desiccated coconut and some blitzed up almond.
Looks great.
Yeah, I'm very happy with it.
It looks very professional. It's something that you'd find at like a chocolaterie or...
Looks like
Right? Look
truffle
at that. Truffle balls, exactly. Here we have the plain, the coconut, and the almond. So, cheers.
All right, go for it. Cheers.
Mmm,
You like it?
you're good. It is time for a taste test. I have just made these delicious, nutritious pre-workout snacks with Charlotte. These are the store-bought versions. Let's see what people prefer and why.
And take your time. Just take a bite of it because that's quite dense. Now, which one, taste-wise, did you like the best and why?
This one, I like this one better.
You like this one better. Which one do you like better? This one.
It's artificial.
Tastes artificial, huh?
Yeah.
You prefer this. But why do you like this better?
It's easy to chew, very filling. I like this one because it's less sweet.
Probably this one.
This one?
It's not as sweet.
Tell me your favorite.
I think I prefer this.
You prefer this one?
No, I picked the chocolate one. I love chocolate.
Ah.
This one tastes much better.
This is really good.
That's your thing, because you like it sweet.
Yeah.
Which one do you prefer?
This one.
Why?
Because of this, taste nice.
Out of the people we polled, 4 preferred the homemade protein snacks, while 5 preferred the store-bought ones.
Well, that was a fun little experiment. I think the majority of people liked the sweeter versions, the store-bought versions. Maybe they're not used to what I've made, which is a bit more nutrient-dense. But listen, not everything sweet is necessarily tasty. But I had fun making these snacks. It's super easy, super quick. I'd do it again. Healthy living shouldn't be the focus of just people living with diabetes. It should be for absolutely everybody. We're talking about regular exercise, doing something that you enjoy. You want to have an active, sustainable lifestyle. Make those little gear shifts with your food as well. And when you're shopping, look for foods with a low glycemic index. If you're unsure, look it up on the internet. Everything is there. Exercise, we're looking at about 150 minutes a week. If you calculate that, it's only 20 minutes a day, be it walking, brisk walking, jumping, dancing, whatever it is that you want. I promise you, it will make such a big difference to your health. Because I like to move it, move it. Do you?